Hi everybody, my name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. So today I want to talk about the power in taking the first step forward towards your dreams. I found this lovely Latin quote, Gradarius, Firmus, Victoria, and it translates as slow and steady wins the race, or another translation which I love is taking small steps towards victory. And that's the thing, taking baby steps forward every single day can get you so far in your life and gets you closer and closer to your dreams. We're so afraid of taking risks. We're afraid of leaving our comfort zone. We're afraid of trying new things. We stick to what we know because we think it's easier. But it isn't. You know, when you're living in that old cycle, when you're living in the 3D life, which is based on fear, lack, and greed, and it's poverty really. We're living in this dark black and white, and we're afraid to step out of that because we think we're safe there. And we're afraid of taking risks, but we're afraid of failure, but we're afraid of success as well. And we're afraid of being seen. We're afraid of being rejected. We're afraid of, ridicule as well, persecution. We're afraid to try new things because the people around us don't do that. And we kind of follow the crowd. We're conditioned to do the 9-to-5 job. We're conditioned to do the norm for society. And we're afraid of changing. We're afraid of change. We're afraid of any kind of change. It makes us revert back to our old ways. Anytime we try something new, we feel and anytime we try something and we fail, we go back 10 steps. And we don't try again. We're afraid to try again. And that's understandable, but we shouldn't see failure as a setback. You should see failure as a lesson. If something doesn't work out the first time, don't give up. Try again, because usually the second time it works even better than it could have worked the first time. And with failure, we learn and we grow. We learn how not to do a thing, and we learn how to do it better next time. But because we're so scared of even trying to move forward or trying to start anything new, we tend not to even bother. And I used to have this problem as well. I'd get so excited about something, really, really excited, but the minute it came to trying that thing, I would freeze. I'd close up. I would freak out. I'd be like, no, I won't be able to do this. I won't be able to do this. But I wouldn't even try. And what I have noticed that if I do try, I get very good at something. Like I was working a factory job, I was working heavy lifting, manual work, and I was on a 6 month trial. So I thought that I couldn't ask for help, and I was just head down, do the work and don't complain. And I was pulling muscles left, right, and centre. I was in agony and I was in pain. I was frustrated. I was nearly crying trying to get these jobs done because it was so hard. But I didn't give up and I didn't ask for help. And I ended up mastering these jobs and becoming supervisor in that factory. Do you know what I mean? Because I didn't give up. And ever since then, I've used that as a model to what I can do. I've spent a lot of my life not trying anything. Or if I tried something and wasn't good at it, I would give up straight away. But that job showed me that if I don't give up, I succeed, and I succeed more than I ever thought possible. And I still have problems sometimes trying things, and I still have problems moving forward, but I remember that, and I remember how I can master anything. And that's the thing, even with creativity. I didn't draw since I was a kid or since I was a teenager, and I forgot I was creative. And then when I tried again as an adult, I was about to give up. I tried and I was just crap. It was very bad. It was worse than I ever could imagine. And I was about to give up, and then I remembered that job, and I was like, if I don't give up, I will succeed. So therefore, I continued with my artwork, and I went from tracing stuff to doing freehand because I didn't give up. This is what we need to start doing. We need to start believing in ourselves and not giving up. At least try, and don't be afraid of that failure. And this is where I'm getting the quote from, is because taking small steps toward victory. Now, I had like I've been on my spiritual journey since 2018, but I had a couple of years in the middle that were really, really bad. That I went spiraled downhill. I lost all sense of self. My ambition went, and my goals kind of came up for question. I didn't know where my life was going. I lost direction. So I kind of had to rebuild from ground zero. But when I was in such a low vibrational energy, when you're in a depressive state, or when you're in a lack mentality, it is so hard to see the road ahead. And that's actually because there is no map. That's the thing. We have no map into the unknown. I think that's what scares us as well. The old way of life has a map, because there's a dirt road that people keep walking down. You can just follow them. It's easy. Well, it's somewhat easy. You just follow the crowd and go that way. That's what we want. That's what we think is easier. We're afraid of the unknown because there is no map. The road gets created in front of us. The path gets created in front of us by each step we take. And that is the power of taking baby steps forward. A lovely quote I read the other day, it was on my herbal tea, they have little affirmations on them. It was, even the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step. So that's what I learned last year when I was starting from zero. I was so scared. I did not know where my life was going. I had no direction, and I had no confidence. I'd lost all my confidence again because I became codependent in a family relationship, and I lost all sense of who I was. And I didn't know where I was going. I did not know what was going to come for me, and I had no idea of what was coming. And I knew I had a purpose on this planet, and I just knew that I had to get started. And from watching a few live events with Tony Robbins and Dean Graziosi and even Matthew McConaughey, I started to see the power in just taking one step. And that's what I did. I made the decision, even though I didn't know what was ahead, I just made that decision to take one step forward every single day. And because even taking that was overwhelming for me, because of the mentality I was in, because of the fear-based energy I was in, I was so scared of taking even one step. It was petrifying. So what I did was even make it easier. And I said, instead of taking one step, we'll take a baby step. So something smaller than one step. And then I even made it even easier for myself and turned those baby steps even smaller. So I called them milli steps. And I said to myself, if I can take one milli step forward every day, one tiny, tiny, tiny step forward, if I make the decision to improve myself by 1% every single day, move forward every single day, no matter what. And now I had to take rest periods in between, because I might have taken a little bit more than one milli step, and I would have gone into overwhelm then, and I'd freak out. And what felt like I was going backwards, but I wouldn't. I'd stop, and then I'd eventually go forward again. But that's the power of moving forward by one step. And choose that. Choose to go forward by one tiny milli step every single day. And look, if you have to pause in between these milli steps, because it can be overwhelming, then do that. But don't go backwards. Don't revert back. Don't give up. If obstacles come, and they will come, obstacles and challenges will come, don't see them as setbacks. They're lessons to move forward. They're lessons to make you stronger. You know, and like I've started stuff and it's failed or it's gone backwards, and I am like, oh my God, I have to start again. But I don't like, these are all tests for you. They're tests in a sense from the universe. If you have an obstacle, this obstacle is a test to see, will you continue forward or will you go back? And it is easy. It's easier to go back. It is. And like, you know, like the way I saw it throughout the last year was I didn't want to go back. I was in such a miserable state because of the fear-based entity that attached to me. I had to go through intense healing to get back to where I am now. And I couldn't go back to that. I'd lost all sense of self. I had lost all will to live. And I said to myself, I'm not going back to that state. I cannot go back to that state. I can only go forward. And I said, no matter how hard or how slow I go or how long it takes me, once I continue moving forward, that is all that matters. So I decided then to move forward by one baby step every single day. And I don't regret it. As I said, I've hit obstacles, I've hit challenges, and I've done things that I never thought I could actually do. As I said before, there is no map. When you're venturing into the unknown, when you're pursuing your life purpose, when you're pursuing the goals and the dreams that you actually have for yourself, and even if you don't know what the dreams look like yet, but once you just know that you want more for yourself, once you know that you deserve better, once you know that you have a purpose on this planet, you don't need to see the way forward, because you have the universe as your team, your work team, your business team, your spiritual team is with you. You're not doing it on your own. And that's the thing. When it's your life purpose, no matter if you can't see what it is, if you can't see what it is, but you know it's there, and you make that decision to go after it, the universe will pull you forward. It will just guide you along. It will ease you into it. And that's the beauty of it. I was so scared. Over the last few years when I started my spiritual journey, I had ambitions. I was so excited about life, and I was pursuing, and I had that boost of energy. I had that up drive to go after what I wanted, and I could see what I wanted, and I was like, yay, this is what I want. Boom, this is brilliant. Happy days. And so I pushed myself forward. But because of my relapse, my relapse was a spiritual lesson, a big one, to be honest, a massive one. But it blew up what I wanted, what I thought I wanted for my life. And as I said, I had to start completely from scratch. And I didn't know, I had no idea what direction I was going in. But I knew if I made the step forward, if I made the decision to go forward, the universe would help me. My angels would help me. So I made the decision. And when I made the decision to put that energy, that investment into myself, into my spiritual healing, into my spiritual growth, into my energy healing, into making myself healthy again in mind, body and soul, to pursue the purpose that I knew was there for me, just making that decision, the universe helped me along. It brought me the resources I needed to boost my confidence, to figure out the direction I was going in, to discover my purpose, just because I made that decision. And that's the first step. That's the first milli step, is to make that decision to move forward in this new direction, to make this decision to move towards your life purpose. Once you make that decision, and that's the beauty of the power of manifestation in the universe and your life purpose, you take one step, the universe takes a couple more. So it's like it's handed to you on a plate. If you do little effort, the universe does little effort as well. It's co-creation. You're co-creating your life purpose with the universe. That you're not doing it on your own, and that's the beauty of it. That's how it makes it so much easier. When you know it's your purpose, when you know it's your destiny, it becomes easier. Don't get me wrong, every single step is hard. It is hard when you're in a low vibrational energy, and when you're lacking confidence, and when you're fearful, and when you don't see the road ahead. It is so scary. But when you do take that one step forward, the universe will throw these things at you, these resources, these opportunities, these help, these aids. Do you know what I mean? It's beautiful, and it makes you see the magic in the universe again, in the world again, because you realize how quickly you can manifest things just by taking those steps forward. And that's the beauty of manifestation as well, is when you think it into existence, it will happen. So as you move forward, the road and the path becomes clearer. You start to see, instead of not being able to see anything in front of you, you start to see a little bit ahead. And the more you gain confidence and the more you grow, the more the path gets bigger ahead, and that you can actually see further along, and then you can manifest in quicker. So that is the beauty of it. And as it's like the universe does guide you along, it pulls you along. Once you just know in your heart and soul that you have a mission on this planet, that you have purpose on this planet, the universe will guide you along. And that's the beauty of it. It's so beautiful. It's so magical. It pulls you forward. It pulls you along. And like, I'm starting to do things that I never thought I could do. I never thought I could go on camera. And I was petrified of the camera. I realise now it's because I had lost my voice, and it was something internal that I needed to work on. But that's the thing as well. We fear going forward, but the only way through fear, or only way out of fear, is through it. And the first time I went on camera, I was petrified. It was petrified. And then I started doing lives as well. And the only reason I stopped doing lives was because my Facebook page, I had to start Facebook again. Long story. But what I'm trying to say is I've hit obstacles as well. But because I moved forward, because I made the commitment to just do it, just do it. This is what builds our confidence. This is what moves you forward. This is how we overcome our fear, is by taking those action steps, by taking those baby steps forward. It's the only way. And it is, I have discovered that. You cannot, when I was starting to discover where I wanted to go last year, or discover that I needed to move forward, discover that I needed to move now. I remember Dean Gradarius and Tony Robbins saying, look ahead to 6 months. Do you want to be in this energy in 6 months' time, looking back and regretful that you haven't started? Or are you going to start today? When is the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When is the second best time? Right now. And that's what I did. I was like, I was crying watching these programs. That's how these live events. I was crying throughout them, going, I have no idea what to do. I'm so scared. I'm petrified. What do I do? How do I move forward? And I just knew. I just said to myself, I cannot be in this energy in 6 months' time. I can't be feeling this shitty, horrible, low vibrational, lack of ambition, upset, lack of confidence, energy in 6 months' time. I knew I couldn't do it. I couldn't stay in that shitty energy for much longer. So I just made that decision. I was like, I don't know what step I'm going to take tomorrow, but I'm making the decision now to move forward with my business, with my coaching, with my life purpose. And I took baby steps forward, and it was gas. It was like all these resources kept coming towards me. These different workshops, meditations, courses kept landing in my lap for me to pursue my purpose. And I was just like, wow, the minute I just made the decision to move forward, the universe hands me resources. And every day since, I've been growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. And I looked back 6 months, I did another live event with Tony Robbins exactly 6 months after the first time. And as I said, I was crying the first time. And 6 months later, I was able to look back and go, yes, I made that tiny step forward, and I'm so much further along than I ever thought I could be. And this is a year on from when I did a video yesterday about setting boundaries. The reason I chose myself was because I'd gotten so bad and I had allowed toxic energy into my life. I cut ties with all that toxic energy and made the decision to improve myself, to heal, to choose myself, because I have a purpose on this planet. I'm fulfilling that now. But when I was in that low vibrational energy, when I was allowing toxic energy into my life, I was going backwards. My health, both mental and physical, was deteriorating. And I was like, how can I be of service to this world if I cannot be of service to myself? So I made the hardest decision of my life to cut away all toxic energy and all toxic people out of my life, family included, to choose to put my health first. And as I was building my health up, I started to discover my life purpose. And then the universe started to guide me along. And even up until the start of this year, my confidence was very low still. And I'm just building and building and building as I go. And it's still only the beginning for me. And I know that, but I am confident in what's ahead now. And I can see I can see my future now. Whereas like this time last year, I had no clue of where I was going or what I was going to do or how I was going to get there. I had really no idea how I was going to get there. And to look back now in the last year and the healing, the growth, the progress I've made in the last year because I chose myself and I chose my purpose. And like, you know, my health is so much better now, mentally and physically. My confidence is growing more and more by the day because I'm taking those steps forward. And I like even up until the end of January when I actually watched Tony Robbins again, I was still in a very heavy, dense energy. I was still moving forward, but I was still in a very stuck energy, stagnant energy. And I started to change my morning routine then, and I started to, like I do meditation all the time. I play meditations every night when I go to bed. But I started to make sure I did a little bit of exercise now in the morning, a little bit of meditation in the morning as well, before I even start my day. So, you know, even up and like even these last 3 months, I've transformed more than I have, you know, or even over the last year. Like, you know, I've every day it's a new day because I made the decision to improve myself a little bit every day and not go backwards. And now, don't get me wrong, there are times that I need to pause. There are times that I will have to take a day of rest if I go into overwhelm from doing too much, or if I need some inner healing to do. Because that's the thing, we need to do our inner healing while we're continuing on our purpose as well. Because, you know, it doesn't happen overnight. We have to actually do the meditation, facing our core wounds, as well as doing the steps towards our purpose. And that's what I did. You know, I did both over the last year, and I'm still continuing to do both. And now, because I've healed so much, I don't need as much time. I'm still healing every day. But like, say before, like throughout the last year when I was still in low vibration energy, I might have done a day or two of work and then I might have needed 3 days rest, you know, that kind of way. I was in that kind of heavy, unhealed energy. Now I might be able to do a week's work and maybe take, like, you know, a week or two I'll be doing work and then I'll have to take 1 day of rest where I'll have to be instead of do. And being is so important throughout this journey as well, because those days of planning are as beneficial as the ones of doing. So understand that as well. That, you know, take those pauses in between. Don't overdo it, because the whole thing seems overwhelming. Change seems overwhelming. Pursuing a massively different life than you have already lived is very, very overwhelming. It's so scary. We are afraid of the new, the unknown. We're afraid of taking risks. We're afraid of taking those leaps of faith. It is so, so scary. So that's why I advise with the baby steps, the small steps towards victory, because when we go into overwhelm, we tend to revert back to our old ways. We freak out. We're like, can't do this, and then we end up back in our old ways. And I've done this before and I know what it's like. And, you know, this is why the baby steps towards victory are so important. If you take the minuscule steps forward every single day, make that your decision today, that you are going to improve yourself by 1% every day. It's all it takes. All it takes. Just make that decision that you are going to move forward on your new path. That alone will send a vibration out to the universe and they will help you forward as well. Take those baby steps. Take the rest in between if you need to, and just continue moving forward. Just make the decision that you're going to only move forward. No more back. Take the rest in between if you go into overwhelm. Pause, but don't move backwards. And that's the thing. What I found as well, say at the early stages, because say if you take 1 baby step forward and the universe then will take 2 for you, you're going from 0 to 3. So if you do go backwards just for a day, or you need to you know, freak out a little bit, you're still going to be further along than you were when you're at 0. Because say you go 1 step forward yourself, the universe brings you up to 3. Then if you go back 1, you're still at 2. So you're still further along than you were. So trust that. There is no going backwards, because you're only able to go forwards. because of the help of the universe, even if you do have a bad day and you do go backwards a little bit, you're going backwards one of the steps the universe took. So you're still further along than you were. So trust that. You can't actually go further back than you started. You just can't. And I know I won't, you know, and this is reminding me, before, when I started my spiritual journey and started manifestation and all that, I believed in the magic and I could see the magic. But because of my relapse, I went so far backwards that I stopped believing in magic again. And I was fearful of being hurt again, I suppose. Fearful of rejection and all that. But because now that I'm back in my high vibrational mode, I can believe in that magic again. And I know that I will not go backwards. And I will not go backwards. Do you know? And so I won't let that kind of energy into my life again to propel me backwards. Like, so this is the magic of manifestation. The magic of doing the work and doing the inner healing along the way as well. Because as we heal, we're growing, we're getting more confident. But as we do the scary things, that makes us more confident as well. The more we do the things that scare us, the more we build our confidence. And that's the thing, like, as I said about that factory job years ago, like, I genuinely, you know, I was a fearful energy. I was after coming out of another toxic relationship, and I had fierce anxiety, and I wasn't in a good place. But that the confidence that built through me, like, to become supervisor was amazing. And even when I first became supervisor, I was like, how am I going to do this? I'm shy. I can't do this. I grew the biggest balls in the world because of the confidence I built through working that job and through perseverance. This is how you gain that momentum, how you gain those balls, as I say. You know, you gain that confidence because you're doing the work. That's how it builds. So, you know, trust that. Trust that you can be a perfectionist at anything. Trust that you can be the master at anything once you actually try and don't give up. So take those baby steps towards victory. One baby step at a time. Small steps towards victory. That's all we need. Start with that first step. And then the road becomes clearer. The path becomes clearer. Your future becomes more visible. And it just becomes easier. And the more you're happier, the more the more it comes to you rather than you go to it. It comes to you. It's guided towards you. So trust that. Trust that you don't have to do it on your own. Trust that you have the universe and you have your angel team. You have your spirit guides. You have your ancestors. All of this is here to help you. Just make that one decision today. That's your first step. Make the decision today to improve yourself by 1% every day. And that's your first step done. And then tomorrow, take your next millistep forward and the universe will guide you forward more and more. And you will gain your confidence as you go. You'll gain your momentum as you go. And you will gain your success as you go. So thank you so much for listening today. And I really do hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share and please subscribe to my page. And if you would like help in your journey, please book me for a discovery call today. And I would love nothing more than to help you on your path. Thanks. Bye-bye.